What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today I want to talk to you about Ripple. I want to go over some of the current data points, what's been really affecting it, and why you might see a very significant bump up in the stock price, both in the short term and more specifically in the long term. So I'm going to go over all the things that you need to know, but first make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So starting off, it is relatively flat over the last 24 hours. An okay amount of volume, so 4.63 billion, as I've been bringing up, like you are seeing lower and lower volume. But despite that lower volume, you are still seeing Ripple to kind of holding its gains. So I think generally speaking, that is a good thing. Aside from that, crypto fear and greed index is under the extreme greed category once again, meaning people's appetite for risk is on the table. And with it holding its gains, you are seeing more shorts starting to return. So especially with today being Thursday and historically what's happened over the last month, Friday afternoon, you start to see a uptick in volume and just crypto prices. So as money rotates from the equity to the crypto market, you see just prices go up. So once again, that is a good reason to potentially get in. And even aside from that though, if you are more of a technical investor, as I brought up in my last video, when it was at $2, if it was to get over this 237, which for right now it is, then most likely you will be seeing that retest of $2.93. So this is something I have brought up time and time again. I even mentioned this on my Patreon where I've been giving buy signals on crypto and whatever else, but in the short term, I see a lot of upside. And even more so based on this article, this analyst or whatever, I think they call themselves a expert, does see a 80% increase if it does close above this $2.50 level. So they do see more realistically for it to get to that 450 level. And so again, short term, you have my price prediction of it hitting roughly that 290, and then potentially with more and more positive momentum going into Q1 with possibly more updates associated to the lawsuit. And even more so with Pandora's box opening from the SEC, you could see more ETFs or at least just more chatter about that. So once again, whether you are a short-term investor or a long-term investor, I think Ripple is very much a coin to kind of focus on. So let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below, but it definitely is interesting to see, especially with today being Thursday, just the level of support that it's actually holding, and shorts still somewhat admitting defeat. You're not having the same kind of pullback as December the 1st and December the 2nd from liquidations from shorts, but most likely that could be coming possibly late Friday, if not Saturday, in my opinion. But like I said, in the short term, just watch for $2.37, and then assuming it is able to kind of hold that support level, then most likely you will be seeing that $2.93 range. And then moving on from here though, on the actual chart itself, so I have the 𝗖𝗢𝗡 100-day moving average, super trend, as well as just volume. But as of right now, looking at the one-day chart, it is above this 𝗖𝗢𝗡. So it does show some signs that it wants to break higher, and assuming it is able to hold that, which right now is similarly at that pivot point of $2.38, then this is where you could see that nice push higher, especially leading into this upcoming weekend. And I always like to look at the 4 hour, 1 hour, everything feeds into each other. So looking at the 4 hour chart right over here, this is where you're seeing, you saw some weakness more so at the tail end of on the 10th and the 9th. But since then, you are starting to see it recover. So in my opinion, I think once it is able to get above this super trend, which right now is $2.47, then this is where you'll see a significant bump up in volume and push higher. So ultimately, I think just there's a lot of good reasons to be bullish on Ripple, and as well as just crypto in general. And once it is able to regain this kind of number 3 spot, then I think just it'll get a lot more attention. So most likely that'll be coming probably tomorrow, Friday, in my opinion. But what do I know? My crystal ball is sometimes wrong. You do your own due diligence at the end of the day. Give yourself a shout out if you've been buying, if you've been selling, what have you been doing with Ripple, and where do you realistically see it going in the short term? So throw your price predictions in the comments below. Hopefully you don't get a lot of those $100 and $200 kind of price predictions, because As much as I think bigger picture, once there's a lot more utility within society, then maybe you'll see those, but not anywhere for the next couple years in my opinion. So let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. And then one final thing, pop over to my Patreon where I'm giving buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. Many of them have been absolute bangers, so pop over there and take a look. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.